Welcome to Pursuing the Muse. Today we feature Warner Hodges, an Americana pioneer who rose from childhood drumming in USO country bands to defining the cowpunk sound with Jason and the Scorchers. He's also played alongside Dan Baird in Homemade Sin. Now he's fronting the Warner E Hodges Band and not missing a beat. In this episode, Warner reveals why his wife actually hopes he dies out there on stage. The blunt advice he received from Dan Baird about the need for more guitar pedals, and the accidental and hilarious origin of the title to his new album, Absolutely. Pick that record up today and stay tuned.
Got no question, got no doubt, don't need time to figure it out. Ain't on the fence, I ain't on the line, I'm a show fling, baby, and it ain't no crime. I'm gonna blow what's left in your mind, absolutely, every time. Here comes my baby, here comes my girl, making my head spin all around this great big world. Some say here comes trouble, yeah, sometimes maybe she drives me crazy. Here comes my baby. Woo! I don't care about you, you don't care about me. We're all in it for the same damn thing, individually.
All right, Tom Compton here again with Pursuing the Muse. Today I'm super excited. We have, oh my God, Warner Hodges joining us today. Wow, a hero of mine, a rock and roll troubadour. I am humbled that Warner is gracing us with his presence. Warner, how are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good, man. I'm good. You don't need to be too humbled.
All right, I don't want to overdo it.
Yeah.
So Warner, you're an inspiration to me on many levels, musically, as a person, and we'll get into all of it. But I suppose a great place to start is to talk about you've been a sideman for a long time. You were with guitar with Jason and the Scorchers, with Dan Baird, with the Bluefields, and then you've had your own kind of solo thing. But as of like a few years ago, you're like all in as the frontman with the Warner E Hodges Band. What's it been like for you doing that transition to like all in as the frontman?
Well, it's kind of a weird thing. When I was playing with Dan started talking about retiring 6 or 7 years before he retired. But soon as he started talking about it, I was like, I need to make sure I got some. I knew that one day he was just going to walk into a sound check and go, okay, that's it. And that's exactly what he did 6 years later when he started talking about it.
Okay.
But I immediately did a solo record, and I started trying to put a band together because I knew there was going to come a day where I didn't want to be a 0.0 with a solo act at that point,
Yeah.
And very kind. Dixon has been very kind. He's helped write a lot of songs. He's played a lot of guitar on my records. Been very helpful. Dan really, he loved playing the shows, but he hated the 22 hours a day. He hated traveling. He hated being away from home. He hated hotels. He hated airports. He just loved playing the music, but everything else he really didn't want to do. And when he finally said that's it, he quit. I've been doing it since I was 10 years old. This is what I want to do. I hope I can do this until I can't do it anymore.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, not to be pessimist, like almost die on stage kind of thing.
My wife Deb said to me one night, and it took me aback at first. She said, I hope you die out there somewhere. And I was like, what?
In the
And when she explained herself, she says, "I hope it's kind of a Johnny Winter. You go somewhere, you play a great show, you go back to your hotel when you don't wake up the next day."
Yeah.
She said, "Otherwise, you're just going to be miserable if you're at the house and can't go and play." And it was once she explained herself, it's like, well, I kind of hope that's what happens too.
Yeah. No.
I love getting to go play music. I love it.
Yeah. No Walmart greeter face for you.
God, I hope not.
That would be the really, really miserable. Yeah.
Oh, man, that would be rough.
So, in terms of, earlier today, I was just thinking about your career and how it's just so impressive, and you've been killing it all along the way. And to do it justice, maybe chronologically is the way to approach your story, where your parents were country musicians, weren't they?
Yeah. I started playing drums in my parents' country band when I was a kid. I mean, my dad was an officer in the U.S. military. I was born in Germany. We went back to Germany a few times. The last time we were in Germany, my parents had a country show band. They had a special forces contract where they did like 15 to 18 shows a month at all the clubs all over Germany and France. And something happened one night with my dad's drummer. My dad he looked at me, he said, "Load your shit up, going with us tonight," and I started playing drums with him when I was a kid.
Wow.
And it was when we moved to Nashville. I was 13, 14 years old when my dad retired. We came to Nashville basically to pursue a record deal for my mother. And they put together a country band and started playing around town. And, it started getting into rock stuff. Country music really wasn't that cool at the time to me as a teenager. But I became the utility infielder in their band. One week I was the drummer. The next week I was their lead guitar player. Oh, the bass player can't make it. You're going to play bass tonight. And that's kind of how I learned to play, was playing in their country band and constantly, never really knowing what the job was,
Mm-hmm.
And it's funny now, if I have a style, it's because of all the country music my parents crammed down my throat.
Sure.
While my older brother was busy throwing Black Sabbath and Led Zeppelin and Jimi Hendrix at me,
Yeah, you got a whole mixed bag there.
Oh, yeah, it was way cool. I was like, oh my God, I got the first Sabbath record, the first Zeppelin record, and Are You Experienced on the same Christmas with my older brother. And I was like, oh my God, we can do that too? This is all out there? It's a possibility?
Right. It's almost downhill from there. You're starting with those three.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. I got to see Deep Purple at the Nuremberg Parade Grounds when Smoke on the Water was a hit.
Nice.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like, wow. Big doings.
I saw them, but it was like after they had reunited what was that?
Perfect Strangers.
Perfect Strangers, yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. Richie Blackmore.
Right. That's
none more Black.
That's the only Deep Purple I acknowledge.
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm absolutely with you. That was a great band.
So was Richie the guy that made you think about switching from drums to guitar?
No, that would be Angus Young.
All right.
But Richie was my guy, but I looked up and saw AC/DC way back yonder too. And it was like, wow, man, who wants to sit in the back when you can do that?
Yes.
Get out front, bounce from side to side, sign me up.
Yeah. Angus Young, the only guy who can wear shorts on stage and pull it.
True. Hey, that's true.
Nobody.
And it can absolutely get away with it as an old damn man.
Yeah. And throw the hat in. Come on. That's so cool.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
And I think with your rhythm playing, I mean, I can hear the Malcolm Young, the Angus Young. The crisp distortion.
Well,
I mean, it's, I see
there's
it.
also a whole bunch of Dan Baird in there. Danny Baird, I learned real quick when I started playing his band. I thought I was a pretty good rhythm guitar player.
Yeah.
And I found out real quick I wasn't nearly as good as I thought I was.
Nice.
And I learned a lot from Dan. Dan, to me, nobody goes listen to that rhythm guitar, but Malcolm Young, Keith Richards, Dan Baird. I don't know which one is the best.
Yeah. And
I wrote a lot of songs with Dan and got to perform a lot with Homemade Setlists. He really, really worked on his lyric and writing songs and all that. Rhythm guitar falls out of the sky. He never thought about it, never worked on it. They hit record and he played the greatest rhythm track ever, every time. Wow. It was amazing.
Yeah, and totally underrated in that category.
Oh yeah. Because not to me.
Right. And I think that's one of those things they say is like to get better as a musician, to play with people who are better than you. And
Absolutely.
So
and it wore me out. I mean, I'd be riding down the road looking at pedals and stuff, checking out pedals, looking at reverb and all that crap. He'd lean over, look at me, go, Warner, you don't need another pedal. You need to rehearse. It's like, wow, did you just say that to me? Yes, he did.
Damn. Wow.
Oh, it was wonderful. Don't get me wrong. Dan is the older brother that I no longer have. My older brother's gone. Dan is my older brother.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like he was putting you down or anything. He's just telling it like it is.
Absolutely.
So, and that's also another thing that helps you get better.
Absolutely. Yeah, Dan will not lie to you. He'll tell you exactly where you sit. Know where you stand with Dan.
Yes. I don't want to make anything about myself here, but one time I got Dan to listen to a song I wrote. Yeah. And he gave me some very honest criticism, which I appreciated and I kind of needed. So I think I can kind of relate only a tiny fraction of an amount to what you're saying about his feedback.
Well,
to you.
I've seen people offer Dan crazy money to produce them, and Dan would listen to their songs and then tell them, "I'm not going to take your money. You need more songs, better songs. Go back and work on your lyrics. And you're ready. I'll produce your record, but you're not ready." Oh, and there's not a lot of people that'll do that. That'll be that brutally honest with people. You know?
That's awesome. I mean, it's the right thing to do from the big picture. So that's awesome.
Yeah, he's an amazing dude.
Yeah. All right, so you're seeing Deep Purple. You're seeing Angus Young.
Yeah.
How did you got into like the punk scene in Nashville, right in the 70s?
Yeah, late 70s, mid 70s, late 70s. When I started playing, I mean, I still was centering myself as a drummer. When I met Joe Blanton, he had that Nashville's first version of the Ramones. He's who introduced me to the Ramones. And their drummer was in a car wreck, broke his leg, and couldn't play for 3 or 4 months. And I ended up playing drums at Joe's band for 3 or 4 months till the drummer come back. And I got the Never Mind the Bollocks record. I had been learning guitar, but I didn't feel I was good enough to play out. And when I got the Bollocks record, I went, hell, I can do that. I'm ready,
Right.
And that was when I started kind of playing guitar out.
So cool. Because with the Sex Pistols, it's more about an attitude and an energy.
Yeah, and I know Jonesy, it's been a while, but we used to be really good friends. And Jonesy, he didn't do, he couldn't do a whole bunch of things, but what he did, he was really great at. And that record, man, that was a life-changing record for folks. That took the dinosaur rock and kind of threw it out a driveway and drug it around a while,
Yeah, right. That's a wake-up call to the world.
I'll never forget, my dad was kind of a country guy. I held up my dad, who turned me on to the Stones, turned me on to all kinds of crazy stuff. But he said to me, I mean, he actually got it. He's like, wow, that boy can't sing, but listen to what he's singing about. He's singing about abortion. He's singing about unemployment. He's got a point he's trying to make. I was like, wow, my dad gets the record. My mother thought I'd lost my mind,
Yeah. You got to look beneath the surface a little bit.
Yeah, a little bit.
So at what point did you hook up with Jason Ringenberg?
Well, what happened, I mean, Perry Batts, the original Scorchers drummer, became our first friend in Nashville. I started playing with Perry when I was like 15 and he was 12. And a year or two later, we met Jeff Johnson, the bass player of the Scorchers.
Mm.
And Jeff and Perry and I kind of tooled around town for a couple of years, basically high school bands, that kind of crap. And when Jason moved to town, he quickly put together 3 dudes, one of which Jack Emerson became our manager. He was playing bass at the time. But he did 2 gigs. He did one opening up with this little band called R.E.M.
Yeah, I've heard of them.
That Jeff saw that gig and told me I needed to see him. And I saw him open up with this guy named Carl Perkins.
Mm.
And I was like, as soon as I saw him, I was like, man, I got to play with this guy. He's nuts. You know, I don't think Jason was on stage 10 minutes. He was in the audience for 30. You know, it was just an opening set for Carl Perkins.
Yeah.
But he was at the audience more than he was on stage.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeff had started playing guitar with him, but Jeff really he wasn't quite rooted in the country side of things. So Jeff started playing bass. I started playing guitar. We had a different drummer. When that drummer decided to quit, I drug Perry in, and that's what became Jason and the Scorchers.
Nice.
We played our first show, I think New Year's, as that outfit, New Year's Eve of 80 that became 81.
Cool. Was there a chemistry right away?
Oh yeah. Yeah, there was when Jeff Perry and I played, and with Jason, it was just fuel, gasoline on the fire,
Yes.
And it was a pretty frightening band. And we used to joke, Jason used to joke about it, we came to people's town to play, and people didn't know whether to feed us or fight us,
Right.
It's,
yeah, what to make of this?
Yeah, we were a frightening band, That was in the days where everybody thought that everybody in Nashville showed up barefooted drinking moonshine,
Yeah, you kind of you turned Nashville upside down, didn't you?
Well, you couldn't be a rock band from Nashville, Tennessee. It just, that thing didn't exist,
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of crazy. I don't understand. I never understood why, rock and roll basically come from country music and the blues, and 9 million people approach rock from a blues standpoint. Why couldn't you come at it from a country standpoint?
Yeah, I hear you. How did you feel about the term cowpunk? Because
dude, you know what? I used to hate that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I have to admit, I was in the band for 40 years. I still don't have a nice 2-word description of what the hell we were, We wanted to be a rock and roll band, but I still don't have a really great, here's our pigeonholed response of what we were. I still don't know. I had somebody, what was it, on Outlaw Country Cruise last year on one of the surveys, I do a thing, they call it volume-based Americana. And I was like, well, they're pretty close, pretty close.
Volume-based?
Volume-based Americana.
I like it,
All right.
guess.
All right. That's okay. That's not too, insulting. That's all right.
Right.
I don't know. I don't have a really great description. We just wanted to, our problem was we were listening to Earl Haggard and the Sex Pistols,
right,
and the Ramones and George Jones all at the same time.
Right. If nothing else, it's a science experiment, and this is what you get.
Well, and I didn't know there was a rule book that said you could do that,
Sure. Yeah, there shouldn't be. I mean, the world's a better place that you guys ignored any kind of stuff like that.
It's a weird thing. I think about it, the Scorchers, I can't tell you how many 18-year-old kids, when we first started touring, we had a couple of original songs and a whole bunch of 50s country that we just hopped up, put more speed and volume at,
Mm.
And there's all kinds of 18, 19-year-old kids at 1981 and 82 that got turned on to country music because Jason's Scorchers.
Yeah.
Jason and the Nashville Scorchers.
Sure.
That didn't realize that we weren't playing our songs. We were playing somebody else's song. We just were playing it way too fast, way too damn loud.
Right. By the time they catch their breath.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And I think about it in those days, the bands that we could play with were the Ramones and the Circle Jerks. Some of the Circle Jerks, I'm still friends with Keith Morris.
Sweet.
40 years later,
Yeah.
Hell, he had a lot to do with me getting sober 4 years ago.
Yeah.
And those bands, you know, the kids that were coming to see those bands didn't have a problem watching us. It worked, you know.
Right. Yeah, opening door.
And the Ramones wasn't the easiest band in the world to be the opening act for.
Right. I mean, I can picture you guys hitting that energy level, but yeah.
Oh yeah, we did all right.
Yeah.
I mean, we're playing in big ass clubs across Texas, like Billy Bob's, that shit, 2,500, 3,000 seat clubs, and they were all there to see the Ramones. They didn't want to see the opening act, and we had to convince them that they needed to see us. You know.
Yeah. Now, was that a challenge that you embraced, or was it kind of disheartening?
Yeah, no, we were too stupid to know any better, you know? I mean, we were young and dumb and just, we did believe in what we were doing. We knew we had something.
Yeah.
You know, we had our something. It had been working for us. You know, some of our best shows were playing with R.E.M. We probably played with R.E.M. across the Southeast 100 to 150 times.
Cool.
You know? Those guys were great guys. They were really good to the Scorchers. We got lots of opportunities because of those guys.
Cool.
And there's a whole bunch of bands that'll tell you that about R.E.M., you know?
Yeah.
But the Ramones thing was a great thing. It never entered our minds that we would be successful doing that, you know?
Sure.
The saying it was easy would be a lie. We knew it was going to be hard, but hell, we were Ramones fans too. We wanted to see the show too.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, you had a pretty special vantage point for that stuff. So
yeah, it's a weird thing because I think about it nowadays with some age and quote unquote wisdom. You know, I'm an AC/DC fanatic. I've seen them now 107 times, 108 times. If you open up for AC/DC, your best hope is that nobody pays any attention to you. Nobody is there to see you. You know, they're not. They're there to see AC/DC. That's why they came.
Right.
You know?
Right.
That is a horrible, thankless job being the opening act for AC/DC. You know, it's just, that's the way it is. People paid a lot of money and they want to see Angus do his thing. That's what they pay for, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So it's the opening act thing is a hard thing. We've got to learn the gig, you know.
Right. Right. So you mentioned a couple minutes ago that 34 years ago you got sober. How did what ramped up with Jason and the Scorchers that got you to the point that you realized that this was a problem for you?
Well, at that particular point, we were in one of our beautiful hiatuses. Let me see. I left the band in like 89, 90. And Jeff Johnson, the original bass player who had left in 87, put the band back together in early 93. I had just sobered up in late 92. And I told him no 15, 20 times because I didn't think I could go back into clubs and stay sober. Jeff was an old buddy, but I just did not think that I could go back into the rock and roll world and stay sober. And he finally kept at me until I finally said, yeah, I'll do it, but I ain't sound check. I mean, I'm literally going to play and leave. Because I didn't trust myself to be in clubs, you know?
Yeah, makes sense.
But I don't, you know, that wasn't Jason and the Scorchers' fault. That was my fault.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
And I'm very, very fortunate that I saw the light at a fairly young age. And, you know, I managed to spend over half my life sober as opposed to the other way around, you know?
Yeah.
And because of that, I've had 9 million opportunities playing guitar. I was busy squashing opportunities to play guitar before.
Right. And I will say, you've got 34 years. I've got 11 years under my belt, and I can say that personally, you've been an inspiration for me because, you know, and I think when, especially starting out, is to have some sort of role model, someone who seems to have at least some semblance of an act together. I mean, you were that for me, and even along the way, I think I sent you a couple notes, and you were always so kind and encouraging. So, on top,
Dude, I think. Go ahead.
I was going to say, on top of all the musical stuff, just being such a great person, just it's such a treat to get a chance to even just talk to you and even say thank you right now. You know.
Well, Dick, just pass it on. You know the gig. Pass it on.
Right.
You know.
Right.
But I've mentioned two guys that, were very beneficial to me. I mean, Keith Morris and Steve Jones.
Mm.
They're both, guys that I looked up to, musicians that were already sober, and they were helpful to me when I was a mess,
Mm-hmm.
And both of them were really kind to me. Steve a couple times, brutally honest, Dan Baird-esque honest to me, but they were good dudes, and they were there when I needed a hand up. And now, like, right honestly, I think one of the reasons I still get to do this because I'm out there trying to offer people a hand up whenever they need it.
Sure.
Yeah, and that's a big deal, carrying the message out there. There's not a week goes by that somebody doesn't come up to me in a club and go, "Dude, how are you doing this?" And it's like, well, let's sit down. Let's sit down and have a cup of coffee.
Right. That's awesome.
Oh yeah, it's a wonderful thing.
Was it just a matter of time and getting used to the bar environment, or is there even a lingering, like, looking over your shoulder to it at this point?
No, but I do remember the show that I realized I could do it. Jeff put the Scorchers back together for a reunion, and we did a reunion tour in '93. And it was a really well attended, we did really well. We made a lot of money. It was a good tour. And it was the original band. And fifth show, Atlanta, Georgia, center stage in Atlanta, Georgia. And we were on stage, and I realized, it's like, wow, I can do this. I'm actually having fun playing music, because I had really messed music up for myself. I had literally become the drummer in Spinal Tap. If I can have the sex and the drugs, you can keep the rock and roll. And it was wonderful to get the gift of music back, And I literally remember being on stage going, wow, I think I can do this. This is fun, and I want to do this. I think I can do this and stay sober doing it,
Right.
And at this point now, I've been doing it a while. It's working.
Right. Now, I'm curious on one level where when I think of Warner Hodges now, I mean, you're pulling off these amazing riffs. You're like a top tier guitar player, and yet at the same time, you're talking about when you're starting out with Jason, or even the punk scene in Nashville with the Sex Pistols, that you're like, at what point did you go from, like, kind of a Kurt Cobain grunge caliber guitar player to, world class? I mean, is there a point where you see a transition that happened?
Dude, I don't. First off, I don't think myself. I live in Nashville, Tennessee, man. This is guitar dial. Dan Baird used to joke that he was the 462nd best guitar player in Nashville.
You sure?
And whenever he'd say that, I'd bust out laughing and go, "Wow, that makes 463." There are some amazing players here, and one of the joys of playing with Dan and reconnecting with my buddy Joe Blanton, who was a singer in the Bluefields, but Joe's produced and wrote a lot of my stuff. And Joe's known me since the punk rock days where I was the drummer in his band, not the guitar player.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always pushing myself to be a little better guitar-wise.
Right.
And I love the fact that Dan and Joe are also that guy. Dan, maybe not so much now that he's retired. He really has retired and kind of stepped away from life. But Joe and I, they're still like, dude, we're still trying to push the baby uphill. It's and every record I I had a kid a couple of years ago come backstage, and the guy went, "Dude, you're 65, and I think you're getting faster." And I kind of busted out laughing. I said, "I am not getting faster. My pig's getting slower. I'm adding fingers." I'm always trying to add a little bit to the arsenal.
Sure.
That makes any sense.
Yeah.
And mostly for myself. One of the joys that I got back when I was sobered up was, it happens to me. My wife is mad at me about it. Baker used to get mad at me about it. I'll sit down on the bed in my hotel room to figure a 5-minute thing out real quick. And 4.5 hours later, I'm still sitting there. I can still get completely lost in the instrument.
Yeah.
And hell, I'm 67 in June, dude. I love that that's still happening.
Yeah, that's fantastic. It's almost like a trance state or something.
It's wonderful. And I don't think of myself as being very good. There's just so much to learn,
Mm-hmm.
and so many things that I'm hearing in my head. That's like, okay, how do I make this? How do I get what's in my head to my hands and out onto tape? How do I get that to people?
Yeah. And that's the chops that you have is counterbalanced by, you're also such an incredible showman, with the twirl, spinning the guitar over your shoulder, and you're going in circles.
Yeah. Some of that's happened to go away a little bit.
Right. The cerebellum gets impacted.
No, it's I tore my knee up.
Oh no.
I tore my right knee up in Bloomington, Illinois with Jason and the Scorchers, 2012.
Oh.
I tore my meniscus. I jumped off the drum riser. When I hit, I heard it over the amps.
Oh.
And I remember thinking, well, that move is now gone. It will not happen anymore.
No more whirling dervish?
Well, no, I still tried, but age is starting to win there.
Yeah.
Age is not winning in my hands, and age is not winning in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to fight until it won't let me fight,
Mm-hmm.
And there are certain things that's like, well, that's just not going to happen anymore. I wish we could, but it's not going to.
When did you get the idea to first try that spinning the guitar over your shoulder move?
Oh, man, I do not know.
No?
It was a long time ago. I mean, I was doing wireless. I was doing it with the cord, with a cable,
How did that work?
It was very difficult. And also, like the 360 helicopter twirls, dude, you had to jump rope. You had to jump the cord every time,
Keeps you in shape.
I was an athlete in high school. And
Okay.
I've always thought of playing shows as an athletic endeavor. I always approach a rock and roll show the way you approach a football game.
Yeah.
It's the mental preparation of what you got to do. Every show you go on stage hoping to be the best you've ever been. No, that's the mindset.
Mm-hmm.
The reality is it's not always going to be that way,
Right.
But you approach it, I'm going to play the best I've ever played tonight,
Did you at least make sure you had a locking strap on before you?
Oh yeah. I've got Dunlop strap locks, the standard Dunlop strap locks. I've been using them since they started making them.
Okay. Because I guess as an experiment, you could just hope that physics might hold it. But
I've torn up 20 or 30 really nice instruments.
Oh,
it's part of it. It's gonna happen. One of my Les Paulers, I looked up Mauro Magellan, the drummer in Dan Baird, who's also the drummer in my band now.
Mm-hmm.
He played drums on the Absolutely record. I threw it one night with Dan in a club, and the guitar just disappeared. And I looked back, and Mauro had caught it. He had dropped his stick. He caught it. He was playing one-handed, trying to hand me the guitar back. I was like, wow, go Mo. It was a Les Paul. That's an expensive mistake.
God. Oh, my God.
With a Fender, you just pick it up, tune it, and go back to it. With a Les Paul, it's over.
Yeah, those things are heavy.
Well, and if it hits the ground, it's over.
Yeah. Oh, my gosh. That's awesome. Did you guys play it off like you meant to do it?
No. I mean, there's that. When that happens, I wouldn't do it in videos. I hit 4 or 5 videos for Scorchers where the directors would want me to do it, and that's like, no, I'm not going to do it in a fake situation. Okay. If I do it live and I blow it, everybody in the room knows it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
If I do it at the video and it doesn't look good, you edit it out and we shoot it again. That ain't cool, you know?
All right.
But, yeah, when that happens, it's few and far between. I do everything I can possibly do to make sure it doesn't happen. But when it does happen, everybody in the room knows it happened.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
And it's usually a hideous sound, and it's usually a costly mistake.
Sure. I would imagine. Oh my God. So how did you wind up getting hooked up with Dan? Was like 2008 around then?
Well, 2007, I
2007?
started playing with Dan, but I've known Dan and Morrow. They were managed. Jason Ringenberg took the cassette tape of Keep Your Hands to Yourself, who are managers. The guy, Kevin Jennings, that was kind of trying to help the Satellites get a record deal, was our drum tech in Jason and the Scorchers. And he had turned us on to this band called the Georgia Satellites. And when Jason heard the Keep It As to Yourself, he was like, dude, that's it.
Yeah.
You know? And he took it to Jack Emerson and Andy McLennan, our managers at the time. And, 3 months later, Georgia Satellites had a record deal.
Nice.
And their first real tour of the States, they were opening for us, but they weren't there long. They were opening for us for 3 months, and then they left us and started opening for this little guy named Tom Petty.
Yes.
And then they started opening up for another guy named Bob Seger.
Yep. Yeah, sure.
They actually left us. We were playing a theater in Kansas City. It was a 1,500 person theater, and the next day they were playing Arrowhead. That's a big step up.
That is. It's like, it's getting called up from the minor leagues there or something,
And Dan always joked that they went from Hamptons in Atlanta playing to 11 people to Arrowhead Stadium in 3 months, So,
wow. And overnight success that took 7 years, right?
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah, that song was an older song. Dan had written that song years before.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I've known Dan and Mo since 84, 85. The first time I met Dan and Rick Richards. They were in between bass player and drummers. They didn't have, Mo wasn't in the band yet, and Rick Price wasn't in the band yet. So, I met Dick and Rick, I guess, in '84 at the 40 Water Club in Athens.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Oh, yeah.
So,
love me some Dan Baird, though. He's done 2 of my favorite island records. So.
Oh, absolutely. Like the Hearing Impaired, and what's the other one?
The very first Sats record and Love Songs for the Hearing Impaired.
Okay.
Those 2 records, I still listen to them. In fact, Dan and Mo would ask me to move rooms if I was beside them, because it's like, dude, we don't want to listen to ourselves half the night. Will you please move?
That's awesome.
Because Morrow played drums on the Love Songs for the Hearing Impaired, too.
Okay.
For the Hearing Impaired. Yeah, Morrow Magellan's a monster, dude.
Oh, yes. Morrow. Man, I love Morrow.
Dude.
So
absolutely ferocious.
How did the planets align in 2007? Did Dan ring you up?
I was doing a solo record. I had a band in Europe that had driven me nuts about, why don't you come play some solo shows in Britain? And I jokingly said, get me some shows and I'll come play it. And the dude got me 20 shows. They weren't all good, but he got 20 shows. Yeah. And so I went in the studio. I just pieced together a record because I needed something to sell, a piece of merch. And Dan and I had been playing with a local girl named Stacy Collins. Yeah. And Dan had produced some stuff on Stacy. And Dan ended up coming to the studio and playing with us for a day or 2. We were there 3 days. He couldn't do all of it, but he did a portion of it. And the second day he walked in and just slammed some CDs down on the counter and said, I've got 12 shows. I don't have a guitar player. I need you to help me out. We're going to do those 12 shows and that'll be it. And I did those 12 shows. And the next thing I knew, we were cutting a record, which was great.
Nice.
Oh, I loved playing with Dan. I loved being in that band.
What was it like playing those satellite parts?
It was okay because I'm a Rick Richards guy too. I love Ricky.
Yeah.
And, that was, it was fun. We didn't do a lot of satellite songs. Dan mostly did. makes in and his solo stuff.
Sure.
But he'd do enough satellite stuff to keep people happy,
Right. He's almost.
We were going to do Hands to Yourself. We weren't getting out of the room without doing that.
Right. That's what I was going to say. You're almost obligated to play that one.
But it was a weird deal because Dan ran that band. We had Keith Christopher on bass.
Oh God, yeah.
And Morrow. Oh yeah, my God, And Morrow. I mean, Keith Jaco Pastori is good. It's crazy.
He exudes soulfulness.
Oh, dude. You're talking about a white guy that played on Ray Charles records and Ray turned up one of his songs. Ray didn't know he was white. Keith, that band. We did Hands to Yourself and I Love You. Period. We did faithful renditions of those two songs because in Darren's head there were going to be people that came just to hear those two songs.
Sure.
Everything else in the band, and we were working out of 175 songs. Everything else was open to interpretation. We four-wheel him with every song. Dan ran the band. It was a rock band inside of a jazz head.
Mm-hmm.
You did not know it. No set list. No idea what to do. I used to joke, Dan's the only one in the room that knows what's next, and he ain't sure. It was the coolest. I hated it at first because the Scorchers, we always had a set list. It always looked very spontaneous, but there was a plan. There was a game plan.
Yeah.
Dan's thing, there was no game plan. We had no idea where it was going every night.
Sure.
And he had that in Europe. We had a small Grateful Dead type of thing, where we'd have 30 or 40 people come to every show of a tour.
Wow.
And, Dan was like, dude, we cannot do the same show every night. We have to do different shows. These people are going to see us every night. It's unfair to them if we play the same damn set every night.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a wonderful learning experience. You had to be on your toes, pay attention because you didn't know what was going to happen next.
Right.
And there was no way you could phone it in,
Yeah. Wow.
I loved it. I try to run my band that way.
Yeah, that'll help you get better fast.
It's a wonderful thing. Crowds either really love it or they can't stand it. If you want to,
hopefully, love more than hate. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean the ones that can't stand it don't come back.
Yeah, sure. And then on top of all the stuff you're doing, you picked up like producing at some point, right? Because you produced the Rollercoaster record, didn't you?
That was a wonderful. That was our bestseller, which Dan would argue with me about, but it was our bestseller. And I had to, 3 or 4 times, I had to, it's like, okay, dude, are you producing or am I producing?
Uh-huh.
And quite honestly, what happened on that record is I drug him and Bo 3 or 4 times. We kind of went and visited the Georgia satellites a little bit. Mm-hmm. And I had to drag them to do that. They weren't sure they wanted to do that, but it was a fun record to do, and I love the fact that Dan did let me produce it. He shut up and let me do my gig,
mm-hmm.
and it was a wonderfully fun thing. Most of our stuff was, a group effort, and it was kind of nice to get to. Myself and Joe had a lot to do with that record too.
Right. And then now that you're fronting your own thing, are you like producing that, or are you shipping that out at all?
I'm not shipping it out, but I am keeping it in the family. I mean, Joe has kind of become the main guy on that production-wise. I've learned, especially trying to be singer dude, because that's not a natural place for me.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've gotten better, but it's not a natural job for me. I'm a guitar player.
Right.
I've learned to really trust Joe and let him take down the roads that I probably wouldn't go down, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, because
and Joe, like I said, has known me since I was, so he what he and what there's no need in us trying. It ain't gonna work,
Mm-hmm. And you almost, like, when you're doing so much, you almost need like an objective third party to see the forest for the trees.
Absolutely. And Joe knows my strengths.
Yeah.
And I've learned to trust him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's not going to take me somewhere I don't need to go.
Right.
He said to me one time, I'll never forget. I'm in the other room. The studio we work in doesn't have a glass where you can see me, and he literally just presses the top button. He goes, "Warner, I can hear you rolling your eyes right now. Will you please just do what I ask you to do?" And that is exactly what I was doing. I was listening to him going, "What a load of shit," you know. but it was like, all right, tell me what you want. I'll give it a shot. And once again, he was right. So I've learned to trust him.
There you go. You got to earn that.
And he's an old buddy. I was over there today. We were over there playing with guitar pedals today. So
Nice.
Oh yeah.
So have you been taking up more and more of the songwriting too? I mean, because you know, didn't at some point with you and Dan and Joe, you guys used to have like a little writing thing, or didn't you?
Oh yeah. So well, what happens is, I mean, you know, I'd be as the lyricist goes, I'm the third guy in that triumvirate, dude. You know, where I'm really good when we would work together. I'm really good at we get stumped, and I would come up with a line or a word or an idea that took us somewhere else. I'm very good at walking in with, got this hook, and I have nothing else, but I do have a guitar riff to go with it, you know?
Yeah.
And Joe you can literally watch Joe clock out and go somewhere else mentally. And we've learned to just sit there and not say a word, and he'll come back 90 seconds later with half a curse. You know, it's an amazing thing. He just glasses over and disappears on you for a few minutes.
Goes to another dimension.
But being around those guys, you're going to get better.
Yeah.
You know, Joe and Dan are brilliant songwriters, I think.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, they're really, really, really good songwriters.
Yeah.
And Dan will not settle. It's got to be really good, or he ain't singing it, you know?
Nice. He's his own quality control there.
He's got a moral compass it's gold. He knows. He knows it's right, or not, it ain't. You know, that ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
And you know, I've been around them long enough to go, hey, let's just keep pushing. We'll find something, you know.
Mm-hmm. So now you're doing your thing. You're fronting the Warner Hodges Band, and you've got what's around the corner. Like, you've got a new album, right? Don't you?
I've got the new album, absolutely. It'll drop probably in the next month, stuff like that. I don't know what release date is. I should know that. I don't. I literally leave Tuesday to do the Outlaw Country Cruise. My wife and I are with my band, and then my wife and I are staying in Miami 8 days, and then we're going to get on the Little Stevens Underground on Garage Cruise, and I'm a guest with some folks.
Cool.
I come back for 4 weeks, 5 weeks, something like that, and then I go to Europe for a tour this year in June. And we've managed to, Stacy Collins is going to be opening for us.
Long time friend.
Yeah, and Stacy's husband, Al, was the last bass player in the Scorchers. He died of a heart attack during COVID, not from COVID, but he had a heart attack at like 59.5 years old, died.
Yeah.
And Stacy and him had a band for years, and she had kind of just completely walked away from music. And I did the benefit. I've done 2 benefits for Jeff Johnson, the original bass player in the Scorchers, had a stroke. And the second benefit we did, I called Stacy and asked her if she wanted to participate. And she thought long and hard about it and decided she would come down and participate. She ended up having a good time. And so afterwards, I asked her if she wanted to maybe be the opening act on this year's dates. And she said, yeah. I said, well, we'll be your band. You know, it'll be all 3 of my guys have played, counting me, Anna Snib, and Connie Bloom have played with her before. Mm-hmm. So 3 of the 4 of us have actually been her band before. And so she's going to be the opening act for all the dates this year.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how she could turn down an offer like a band like that backing her up.
She had to think about it, I'm sure, because music was her and Al's thing together, and Allie's not there. So you know, I just know she's. I see the gleam and the image there again. She hasn't played in like 6 years, and I just said, if you want to do it, this can be as much home as we can give you, and then you can figure it out, put you a band back together and go back next year or whatever. But this year, 75% of us have played with you before. It'll be real easy,
Awesome.
And she jumped on it. So she's going to be the opening act for this, the May-June run and the September-October run.
Okay. Now, when I asked about the new album, if you had a new album and you said absolutely, it was, I almost pictured a Who's on First moment. Like
absolute, yeah, it's a joke. It's actually kind of a joke.
Because
is it okay? Is it okay?
That word is the name of the album.
Yeah, is it okay to use the F-bomb here?
Yeah. I just put the explicit warning on the podcast.
Okay, absolutely. I say that all the time. I didn't realize I do. And we did a tour a year and a half ago in Europe, us and the Supersuckers together. I've known Eddie since the 80s. And I didn't realize I said that as much as I said it, but I walked in one night. Ed played first. We were playing afterwards. And as I walked in the dressing room, I heard Metal Marty and Eddie. They were writing this song called Absolutely. They were working on. They had a great melody. They didn't have any lyric yet. But it was making fun of the fact that I say absolutely all the time. And I literally handed Eddie my phone and had him kind of hum the melody into the phone. Took it back to Nashville, and me, Dan, and Joe finished the song. And the song absolutely is it's the lead up a song on the record. So
now, and I think you've played it like 2025 on some live gigs, haven't you?
Yes, yeah. At the end of last year's tour, we actually played probably 8 of the 11 songs at different shows at different times.
Cool.
But we were playing 3 or 4 new songs a night,
Cool.
I like trying to do that. That's where you find out if you got anything or not.
Does the song have legs?
Well, you're doing it to a crowd of people that want to hear your old shit.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, you're gonna hear some old shit, but we're gonna play some new stuff too.
Right. Absolutely. Oh, look, I'm doing it.
Yeah, that's part of it, man. Absolutely.
So the other collection of songs, are these things that just kind of filtered here and there, or did you like go off into like a weekend and like try and come up with a bunch of stuff?
Yeah, me and Joe wrote a bunch of them, and me, Joe, and Dan wrote a few of them.
Okay.
Dan, it's a little bit harder to get Dan out of the house, but I can, if he ain't doing anything, I can call him, dude, come over here and give us a hand, I guarantee that Dan Baird's in the room, it's going to be better.
I can see that.
Danny Baird knows how to write. He knows how to play. He knows how to produce. If he's in the room, it's going to be better. So I try to drag him into the room as often as I can get him without pissing him off.
I can appreciate that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So.
Oh yeah. Well,
how has now in the Bluefields, Dan's on bass, and how's that band? What's the experience of that band like in a different way from everything else that you got going on?
Well, Brad Pemberton is the drummer in that band, which Brad was in. What was it? Ryan Adams, the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And Brad played with Steve Earle for years, and I can't. I know he's got a new hot chick gig, but I can't say who. But Brad's got him. Brad's professional drummer. Now he played on 300-400 records. He knows what he's doing.
Yeah.
And that band's actually really fun. It started out, beginning of it was me working on a solo record where it was like, you know what? I'm just going to do a Led Zeppelin record. They keep doing records. I'm going to do a Led Zeppelin record. A lot of weird guitar tunings, double neck, 12 string, all kinds of. I just wish I was Jimmy Page and I'm not.
A lot of us wish that, yeah.
Well, yeah. But as Joe and I were working on that record, before we'd even brought Dan in, Joe was singing under his breath. I'm supposedly going to be singing. And, it just become like, Joe, you need to be singing these tunes, man. I'll never be able to sing what you're singing, just half-passing it, And we ended up bringing Dan in. Dan wanted to play bass. And when the first Bluefields record, Steve Gorman from the Crows played drums on that. But Steve had Trigger Hippie and a bunch of other crap going on, so Brad came in. And Brad's been with us ever since the first Bluefields record. And we're talking, we're going to hopefully do a new Bluefields record this year. I hope we are. Dan even wants to do it, which would be fun.
That's cool.
Oh, yeah. Don't know if we'll do any shows. I'm sure Dan won't want to do that, but he wants to play on record, so that's cool.
You might get him to play in Nashville somewhere, but
I don't know.
I mean, he gets to sleep in his own bed at least.
No one actually will get him playing Nashville, and I love this about that. This is what's great about Dan Baird. Somebody benefit, he'll do that. Yeah, he won't bitch. He'll go, how long? Who's it for? All right, I'm there.
Cool.
And that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Heart of gold.
Oh no, dude, absolutely. Danny Baird is that for sure. He just won't suffer fools likely.
Right.
But that's a good thing. I mean, because you know where you stand. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, Warner, we've talked about the past. We've talked about the future. This is probably a good time to wrap it up. I just let me say thank you so much for taking the time to talk, and I can't wait to hear the new stuff. I know knowing you, it's gonna be as kick-ass as ever. So
it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I'm really pleased with the new record. It's and I've got Keith Fogelty from the Bottle Rockets, who's playing bass with me and singing backgrounds. He's on the record.
Yeah.
And Marvin Magellan's on the record. And I don't know if you know who the Electric Boys are, Swedish band. Tony Bloom, guitar player of that band, is playing guitar with me, and he is a monster.
Nice.
Dude, he's that good. It's crazy.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, it's frightening. He's frightening guitar player.
Just one more reason to look forward to what's around the corner.
Oh, I like it. I like it. I know it's
absolutely.
Absolutely.
I may make this my new catchphrase.
There you go, dude. It works on everything. It does work on everything.
It does. I may get a season.
It's like singing Tim McGraw with Christmas carols, Oh, Tim McGraw. It works at every. We three kings of Tim McGraw. It works in every song.
There you go. I love it.
Oh, now Tim's got one kick my butt. So
absolutely.
All
right. Well, Warner, thank you so much, man. I really, really appreciate it. It's been such a blast talking to you, and so much good stuff ahead. You don't need to die on stage anytime in the near future.
Oh, I have no plans to, but I'm glad that my wife is okay with it.
In the best possible way. That is the wish.
Yes, indeed.
All right. Thank you, Warner.
Thank you, Tom.
All right.